Hi, Gayle. Thank you for the reminder. Apologies. I watched this video in my notes from May 31st, so please, please, please don't be shy. Just keep telling me, like, what are you doing, Mel? But also, you won't have to anymore. Overall, great work. I loved your tone. I loved how you were writing down the key words. Good job, showing him the picture and, trying to get his eyes on it, pointing to it for support. I would, when you're reading, be more conscious of how many keywords you're reading out just to keep that nice flow. I typically choose about 3 to 4 and try not to make them too close to each other. I would still kind of push the table a little bit further away so he can have that full arm extension. Again, great prompts. If you want to look back at the video, I kind of noticed that his eyes were really focused on one corner mostly, so really be mindful of using prompts like, okay, eyes on it, scan that board completely, look for it, let me see your eyes shift. Just really, really talk directly to his eyes. If there's about 2 mispokes, just do a little reset, whether it's lifting up, lifting down. Sometimes I just go flat. I would kind of, for your continuation prompt, do more of that sing-songy, so like A and B then, C then, look for it, find it, scan your board, after C is, remember to only have to say the word once, whatever you're asking him to spell. Instead of kind of physically touching for the reset, think of other ways that you could say that to get his arm down. Like, okay, let's reset that arm. So think about, hand to your lap. And while you're kind of prompting the hand to the lap, I would kind of lift the board up so he's not impulsive or ready to poke. And say, all right, hand down. I'm going to drop the board. I want to see your eyes on it. Lift it. Go. He seemed really, really regulated, which was good. But I would try and stick with just about like 4 questions and then start reading again. Just because of his age and just as you're building that stamina and accuracy and stuff, you never really want to overdo it with the amount of questions in between the chunks to tire them out too early on. Again, to, be more mindful of never needing to repeat the question. Even if you do, sometimes I'll say like, okay, I know you know the question, but just for my brain, I'm gonna say it again out loud. Just little things with the verbiage. Instead of saying like, I don't think you meant H, we know he didn't mean H, which, I know you know, but just say, instead of, oh, wrong letter, I don't think you meant that, and just think of other ways to prompt him. So, 1 over, jump up, jump down, look for it, top corner, bottom corner. Try to have them consistent with the same hand the whole time. But again, that's something that comes over time. Sometimes with my new little guys or even older guys, I really try and, say like, oh, stick with that right hand. But sometimes if they're in the left corner, they might lift up the left hand and do it, which I'll even recognize, and I'll be like, okay, I'll let you have this one, but I really want to focus on one hand for the entire session. But that's something that it's not like it's super duper has to happen right off the bat. Like, that's something you just work on over time. That was great. He spelled for almost like 12 minutes, but again, I would have given him a couple more breaks in there. And great job encouraging him to say he could stand and walk around while you read. If or when he's kind of hitting the wall or the table, sometimes some hand squeezes help. Just kind of, regulate him, feel those hands, kind of ground him, everything. And yeah, overall, like, awesome work. Remember, those spells should just be at the warm-up, or if later he seems super dysregulated and you want to throw in something that has low motor and low cog, then I would throw in another spell. But for the most part, to kind of, build that relationship and accuracy and get to the next step, just do a few spells in the beginning and then go for greens. And let me look at your reflection real quick. And yeah, don't be too hard on yourself. Like, I remember my entire cohort, my mentor kept telling me, like, oh, try other prompts, but it's hard because you get familiar with some, but eventually the more practice you have and the more clients you see, you'll be adding more and more prompts to your toolbox. I find myself still using a lot of the same, but the main thing that differs with my clients might be how quickly, how loudly, how drawn out. I might be whispering more than others. And then, sometimes I have one client that seems to not like it when I say and. So instead of a and, then I'll say like a next letter, or a then, or sometimes I'm even like, keep going. But again, that's a client that's been spelling a lot longer. And you're definitely improving your ability to help with regulation and by presuming competence. Yeah, it's tough with the open area, but you work through it. And, that's even one of the hardest parts about my job as I go into people's homes. Like, ideally, in the perfect world, every single one of these sessions, especially at the very beginning for months and months, would just be in a really tiny room with a table, 2 chairs, nothing on the walls, so they can just focus on the task. And yeah, everything looked great. Let me know if you have questions.